Hey, hey, my dear friends, fellow anglers and outdoor enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel, your go-to spot for all things fishing. Today, we're diving deep into the much-anticipated fishing forecast for our beautiful Canadian waters, covering the week from Monday, September 15th, all the way to Sunday, September 21st, 2025. Get ready, because this week is shaping up to be a real mixed bag, full of transitions and opportunities. We've got the crisp air of early autumn, fluctuating pressures, and fish that are definitely thinking about their winter meals. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk tactics. All right, let's break down the conditions. First up, the weather. This week we'll see a classic Canadian autumn pattern. Air temperatures will generally hover around 14 to 16 degrees Celsius, or about 57 to 61 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, but expect those nighttime lows to dip significantly, often down to a chilly 3 to 8 degrees Celsius, which is 38 to 46 Fahrenheit. This wide swing in daily temperatures is a key factor for fish activity. Atmospheric pressure will start fairly stable, then we'll likely see a dip midweek as the system moves through, followed by a rise as we head into the weekend, bringing clearer, colder conditions. Wind speeds will be light to moderate, typically around 12 to 14 kilometers per hour, with some gusts possible on blustery days. We're also anticipating a couple of days with light rain or drizzle, particularly midweek, which can often kickstart a bite. How do these changes affect our finned friends? Well, those cooling air temperatures and dropping pressures tend to push fish deeper initially, seeking stable, warmer water. But when the pressure stabilizes or rises after a front, especially with some cloud cover, watch out. That's when they can really turn on. Now, about the water. As autumn progresses in our region, water temperatures are a big deal. We're looking at surface temperatures in most lakes and rivers starting around 15 to 16 degrees Celsius, about 60 to 62 Fahrenheit, but trending downwards towards 10 to 13 degrees Celsius or 50 to 55 Fahrenheit by the end of the week. This is prime time, friends. As the water cools, oxygen levels increase throughout the water column, which absolutely invigorates the fish. They become more active, more aggressive, and most importantly for us, they start feeding heavily, packing on reserves for the long winter ahead. And this means they're often willing to chase a lure or hit a bait with conviction. Let's not forget the moon, our silent partner in the cosmos. This week, we're transitioning from a waning crescent moon at the start of our period to a new moon by Sunday. On Monday, September 15th, we'll have a waning crescent moon, about 38% illuminated. As the week progresses, that illumination will continue to decrease, culminating in the new moon on Sunday, September 21st, around 2:54 in the afternoon. Now, many old-timers, myself included, will tell you that the new moon phase can be absolutely fantastic for fishing, especially for predatory species. The reduced moonlight often means more active feeding during dawn and dusk, and fish tend to be less shy in the lower light conditions, making them more susceptible to our offerings. So keep that in mind, my friends. Those low light periods will be golden this week. When it comes to general fish activity, September in our Canadian waters is a transition month, and a glorious one at that. Fish are migrating from their summer haunts, moving towards deeper wintering areas, but they also make frequent forays into the shallows to feed. The early fall period is characterized by fish putting on weight, so they're often aggressive. Walleye, pike, bass, and lake trout are all on the menu, each with their own unique behaviors in these changing conditions. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, what to target and how. I've picked out a few of our region's most popular species for this time of year. First up, northern pike, those toothy, aggressive predators. This is a fantastic time for big pike, my friends. They're moving out of those shallow, weedy summer bays and heading towards main lake points, rocky outcroppings and submerged structures. Why there? They're targeting bigger baitfish like cisco and perch that are also moving to these areas. Look for any remaining green vegetation as it still holds baitfish. For tactics, I love throwing oversized suspending jerkbaits, especially in natural minnow patterns. Large swim baits or spoons that you can retrieve aggressively and then pause will also get their attention. Remember to use a strong leader because these guys will cut your line in a heartbeat. Cast along those structural breaks, let the bait hang for a moment, and brace for impact. Next, the prized walleye taintsai. September is prime time for walleye, but they can be a bit more elusive as they start their move to deeper water. They'll be congregating around drop-offs, points, reefs, and submerged humps, especially those that offer quick access to deeper, stable water. Pay close attention to low-light conditions. Early mornings, late evenings, and heavily overcast days are your best bet. Jigs tipped with minnows, leeches, or night crawlers are always effective. Don't be afraid to try natural-colored crankbaits or blade baits, especially in perch, silver and black, or silver and gold patterns. Trolling or drifting slowly along those deep contours, covering water until you find a school, is a highly effective strategy this time of year. Let's talk about a smallmouth bass. Pound for pound, some of the strongest fighters in our waters. In this cooling water, smallmouth will often move to deeper main lake structures, like humps, rock piles, and deep points, anywhere from 20 to 40 feet of water seeking that stable temperature. However, if we get a sustained warm spell of a couple of days, they might scoot into shallower, waist-deep water around rocky shorelines. My go-to lures include drop shots, tube jigs, and football jigs, all fished slowly along the bottom. Work those transitions from shallow to deep and keep an eye on your electronics for any schooling baitfish. The base won't be far behind. Finally, the magnificent lake trout. The end of September often marks the close of the lake trout season in many areas, so this is your last chance for open water lakers. As water temperatures drop, lake trout will actually move shallower to feed before their pre-spawn activity. Look for them around rocky shoals, underwater islands, and main lake points, often in depths of 10 to 30 feet, but they can still be found deeper, especially in the largest, coldest lakes. Trolling with large spoons or crankbaits in bright, flashy colors is a classic method. You can also jig with heavy spoons or large tubes over deep structure. Remember, they're looking to fatten up, so if you find a school of bait, the lakers will be right there. All right, my friends, let's break down the week day by day. Remember, these are my best predictions based on the current data, so always be ready to adapt. Monday, September 15th. We're starting the week with a waning crescent moon and relatively stable, cool conditions. The air temperature will be around 14 degrees Celsius during the day, dropping to 5 at night. Atmospheric pressure will be steady. I'm calling for a good key bite, especially for active predators like pike and walleye, particularly in the morning and late afternoon as they adjust to the stable conditions. Fish those structural breaks. Tuesday, September 16th. The waning crescent continues with a slight drop in pressure and an increased chance of light rain or drizzle throughout the day. Daytime highs around 12 degrees Celsius, with nighttime lows around 4. This change in weather often triggers a feeding frenzy just before the system settles in. Expect a very good bull bite for walleye and pike, as the low light and dropping pressure encourage them to feed aggressively. Focus on edges and transition zones. Wednesday, September 17th. The cool, damp weather will continue, with temperatures around 11 degrees Celsius during the day, dropping to 3 at night, as the pressure begins to rise slightly after the front. The waning crescent moon is still with us. This could be a capricious day. The post-front blues might set in, making fish a bit finicky. Focus on slower presentations, deeper structure, and be patient. Don't be afraid to downsize your baits. Thursday, September the 18th. Expect colder temperatures around 9 degrees Celsius during the day and a frosty 2 degrees at night, with rising high pressure and possibly stronger northwesterly winds. The waning crescent is still in play. I'm predicting a slight bite. The cold wind and high pressure will push fish deeper. You'll need to work hard, fishing slow and deep for walleye and bass. Pike might be less active but still callable with large, slow-moving baits. Friday, September 19th. The temperatures will moderate slightly to 10 degrees Celsius during the day and 3 at night, with still high but stabilizing pressure. Cloud cover will start to increase as we approach the new moon. This could be a turning point, offering a medium bite. Fish will start to feel more comfortable, especially in deeper, more stable areas. Lake trout could become more active in their shallower pre-spawn haunts. Focus on finding schools of bait fish. Saturday, September 20th. We're on the cusp of the new moon, with moderating temperatures around 12 degrees Celsius during the day and 5 at night. Pressure will be lower and we might see some scattered showers. This is shaping up to be a just a good Doddy's day. The approaching new moon and lower pressure will stimulate feeding. Walleye and pike should be quite active, especially in low light conditions. Bass might also be moving around more. Cover water until you find them. Sunday, September 21st. It's a new moon day, my friends. Expect cooler, crisp air around 8 degrees Celsius during the day and 1 degree at night as high pressure settles back in. The new moon itself, combined with the post-front stability, could lead to a good to excellent bite, especially during the morning and late afternoon hours. Predators like pike and walleye will be actively feeding under the low light. Deep structure for walleye and bass, and main lake points for pike. Dress warm and make the most of this prime lunar phase. So there you have it, my friends, your detailed fishing forecast for the week ahead in our beautiful Canadian region. Remember, fishing is all about adapting and enjoying the outdoors. I wish each and every one of you a fantastic week on the water. May your lines be tight and your coolers full. Until next time, stay safe, fish hard, and as always, tight lines and ni kwosta, ni cheshwi. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this helpful, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future forecasts. What are your fishing plans for this week? Did you catch anything exciting last weekend? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I love hearing from all of you. Tight lines, everyone.